much, ma'am, and VInspire for having me here at this platform at this momentous occasion of VInspire completing the 9 years of its foundation, and the journey that I have been witness to just in a short while with your presentation is really commendable. So it won my heart to see as to how much you have done in this crisis time of pandemic, and how you have helped those people through your foundation, also roping in the young talent of our country. They are the real future, and I'm really glad to see their participation to reach out to people in this time of crisis. So really kudos to you and your team, ma'am. Now, when you had told me about the work that you have been doing, not only in this period of 1 or 2 years when we have this pandemic, but also preceding time, the whole 9 years, it reminded me of a quote by Swami Vivekananda, and that is, service to humanity is service to God. Now, this concept comes alive in your work, and it is not very hard to understand as to why he would have said this. Because if we understand the basic fact that God is the creator of everything and everyone which exists on this planet Earth, we understand this, that whatever we see in front of us, whether invisible, tangible or intangible form, has been created by God. And that is why everything and everyone is the form of God itself. And this is when this concept of reaching out to humanity to help them in the hour of problem stems from. So if we also think in a selfish way, because sometimes we do think in a selfish way, we are human beings, and self-preservation is at the core of our existence, I would say that let's think in this way, that whatever comes, whatever we give to this world comes back to us. And why that happens? Because it is the law of nature. There are many students here, as ma'am had just now told me, and you must have read in your textbooks, perhaps it is biology or whatever subject you must have read, there would have been one concept of water cycle. At least everybody must have read it in their class 5th or 6th. Water cycle, a very simple concept. So water, when it evaporates from the sea, becomes clouds, and clouds in turn come down to earth in the form of rain. So whatever goes up comes down. In the same fashion, whatever you give to this world, whatever you project in here, is going to definitely, certainly come back to you in whatever form. And that is why your deeds, your actions, your thoughts have to be good, so that our own preservation reflects that. I would share a small journey of mine, just to give a little example. Once I was traveling in a train, and there was a young girl, who was traveling with her mother. So they had only one seat reserved amongst two of them. The mother was obviously of senior age. She was an elder person. And that is why this girl was very much worried as to how they are going to pass this night of their journey. If their mother is not able to sleep, she will not be well, of course, in the next morning. So she was very much worried, asking everybody for help. I volunteered to share my seat with her, because me being a military person as well as a person in adventure sports, I only require a little bit of space for myself. I can adjust. Even if I sleep slanting on one side, I can very well adjust. I'm in the habit of that. So I volunteered to share my seat. And that is how we spent that night. Her mother slept on one seat comfortably. She shared her seat she shared my seat. So we slept in opposite directions, and that is how this night passed comfortably for all of us. Sometime later, I do not remember how much time later, I was again traveling in a train. This time, I had no confirmed berth. And that happened because we as military people had to travel at a very short notice. It was not possible for me to have a reservation. And that is why I was traveling without a confirmed seat. What happens is, a person comes and sits in front of my seat. And in the due process, we got talking. He told me that he had got the seat reserved at the last moment through a VIP quota. So he told, ma'am, with great difficulty, I have been able to secure this berth for myself. In due process, we came to know that we both belonged to armed forces. And this person, you will not believe, he said with great difficulty I got this berth, and he insisted me taking his seat, and he slept on the floor. He kept on insisting while I felt so guilty of doing it. But what I was telling you just now, what you give comes back to you in whatever form. And that is why it is very important to be good in our deeds, in our actions, in our thoughts. Another thing that I feel that we human beings are very much conscious of our appearance, what is in the latest fashion, what shall we wear, how shall we look. But what is one thing which never goes out of fashion is good values. And that is why if you want to make anything your trademark, that has to be only and only good values. Because only by imbibing these in our personalities, in our day-to-day actions, we will have sustainability in any aspect of our life. Be it gaining respect, lasting peace, prosperity, or even profit in a business. You would see that any business that runs on ethical practices always sustains longer and makes not only goodwill in people's heart, but also earns more profit. So this path that I am advocating you to take, the path of love, honesty, good deeds, values, is not going to be easy, children. It will come with its own hardships and struggles, and you will have to sometimes look back, look within, and think whether you did right by choosing this honest path. But I would tell you one thing, that even if it is not easy, this is the only best thing to do. Why? Because it has been time tested. Because all the great people on this planet have preached the same thing. If you believe in any religion, in any God, in any religious sacred book, you will find the same thing. If you believe in any kind of inspiring personality, read Buddha, read Gandhi, read Vivekananda, or any great person on this earth, you will find the same things. And that is why wisdom of this world does not need to be tested by you again and again. You do not need to learn a certain things by hard blow. You can trust the wisdom already which has been generated through centuries. And we in India are really blessed to have it, a treasure trove of knowledge as well as wisdom in the form of Vedas and Upanishads. So I would exhort you to find out some time from your busy schedule to go through these sacred books. You will find all the answers. You will find the sustainable, righteous path of your life. What I will also say to you, when you despair in life, because despair will come, it is a part of life. Sometimes you will fall, sometimes you will feel rejected. If you are a student, perhaps it is not possible for you to perform excellently well all the time in your exams. If you are a business person, there will be ups and downs in your lives. Even if you are in any field, as a human being, in personal as well as professional lives, you will feel that there is injustice in this world. Not everywhere everything is going to be fair. But I would remind you one quote of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation. He said, "Whenever I despair, I remind myself that in entire humanity, the path of love and honesty has always won. There might be tyrants and murderers who for a time being may seem invincible, but remember that they always fall in the end." Remember that always. And you would have ample examples in history also for this truth, this veracity of this one sentence. And that is why I would exhort you that the way ma'am has just told, this humanity at its core of your actions has to be preserved at all cost. So in your life, make the foundation on good values. And that is when you're going to have one sustainable, long-lasting building, and that is your fortune, your destiny. The kind of world that you want to create, you create it today. Remember that whatever you do today, it is not only a personal deed. It will not be restricted only to you, because it will set a precedence in history. Every action that you take today, it is going to be an example for the future generation. It is also going to be something which either people will look up to, or they will give you an example that this shall never be so for anybody else. So whatever you do, good or bad, is going to set an example for sure. Remember that. Learn that we exist not as an island, but we are connected to everything that is surrounding us, because that is how humanity is surviving. On this planet Earth, we are not just the only one. Even if you expand your sphere from the planet Earth, you remember you have read the solar system, of course. So the solar system also is so interconnected. Just keep on expanding your sphere of thinking and realize that you are connected to everything else on this planet. And that is why your actions have repercussions or advantages for everybody else, everything else. That is what you must have heard about climate change happening. And each one of us is responsible for this, or each one of us is also able to halt it, minimize the damage. So take responsibility for your actions today and for future. Create the world that you want to imagine for yourself and for your future generation. Be an active participant in it, like you have been already. You are COVID volunteers. You have already taken that one step forward. I would exhort you to continue this good service in all the spheres of your life. Thank you so much, VInspire, for having me here and giving me this time to interact to this lovely, wonderful, amazing, full of energy set of people and the kind of work that you are doing, ma'am. Kudos to you. Thank you.
We will strive together to transform.